Iron bars, dark cells with no windows, and suboptimal food are just some of the low living standards you'd expect from prison. And while most prisons do in fact match that dreadful description, there are a few rare and exceptional correctional facilities out there that look so comfy, they almost make us want to commit a crime just to spend a night or two. Welcome to another episode of RichTube, and today we're counting the 5 luxury prisons that are nicer than your own apartment. And if you are wondering about the best country in the world to get arrested, you'll want to stick through to number 1, because this luxury prison will blow your mind. Let's get started. Number 5, Butner Federal Correctional Complex, USA. If you are ever to get sentenced for a crime, the Butner Federal Correctional Complex in Durham, North Carolina is exactly where you'd hope to end up. Butner is not only a minimum security prison, boasting great medical facilities, television, and classes, but they even have a good behavior policy, where every 4 hours of work completed gets you 2 days taken off your sentence. But the only reason you'd want to leave this prison spa so soon is if your own home is a lot more luxurious, which is the case for most of its inmates. Butner is in fact your top-of-the-line prison for white-collar criminals, like your Enron CEOs and your Bernie Madoffs, which isn't a random example at all. This is in fact where Madoff was sentenced to serve time for his massive Ponzi scheme. So before you get your hopes up, know that you probably won't get to go here, unless you're super rich and super connected. But if you're wondering which country gives even some of their most heinous criminals the 5-star treatment, then you'll definitely want to stick around for number 1. Number 4, Champlin Prison, Switzerland. This Swiss prison was actually facing multiple problems, from overcrowding to diseases and even rioting. Until 2011, when with a funding of $40 million, it was refurbished into what resembles a 3-star hostel. Champlin now boasts highly spacious triple-occupancy cells, clean bathrooms, and the latest facilities, allowing its inmates to feel less like they're being punished and more like a group of university dorm mates working together towards rehabilitation. As far as prisons go, this is one luxury facility to wait out your sentencing. Real quick, if you're not yet subscribed to RichTube, then what are you waiting for? Here's a quick challenge. If you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications under 5 seconds, you'll win 10 years of luxurious luck. What are you waiting for? Number 3, Aranjuez Prison, Spain. Aside from its higher standards of living, what makes this Spanish prison so unique is that your children get to live there with you. Say what? That's right. This prison was designed so that youngsters could live with their criminal parents until the age of 3 without being an intimidating setting. This means a huge upgrade for the parents, who get to stay in a spacious cell with Disney characters painted on the walls. Meanwhile, the prison boasts a playground and nursery for the infants, who are too young to understand the reality of imprisonment anyway. Despite the fact that many people disagree with such a level of leniency, it does keep youngsters out of the foster system and gives them a chance to bond with their criminal parents. It's what they'd call a win-win. Number 2, Justice Center Leoben, Austria. From the outside, the Justice Center in Leoben, Austria might just be the coolest looking prison in the world. It almost appears like a sleek office building or a modern college, which is fitting, since it basically is a college. There's a gym, a dining room, shared kitchens, and you can even wear your own clothes. What's more, its single occupancy cells come with their own private kitchenette, floor-to-ceiling windows, a TV, and even a private bathroom, which is almost better than what you get in most private colleges. Surprisingly enough, the Justice Center was not exactly designed to help rehabilitate prisoners, but rather to help them lead a more normal life in prison, so that less resocializing and adjusting would be needed once they re-enter society. And as you would expect, the prison is only for non-violent offenders. But even so, not everyone agrees prisoners should have the right to anything remotely resembling such luxury. And if you agree with such policies, this next prison is going to shock you even more. Number 1, Halden Prison, Norway. Now if there's one country you'd almost want to get arrested, it's Norway. Jokes aside, the prisons in Norway are actually sweeter than almost any 5-star hotel, such as Halden Prison, which is known to be the most humane prison in the world. Each room has a small TV, ensuite shower, and a window with a view. Basically, the only thing separating a prisoner's cell from a hotel room is the lock on the outside of the door. There are game areas for when you get bored, you can exercise outside, and there's even a rock climbing wall. And while you would guess Halden is another facility for minimum security offenders like its Austrian cousin, you'd be surprised to hear that the place actually holds some of Norway's worst offenders. such as rapists, serial killers, and pedophiles. What's more, there have been almost no fights in the prison's entire history. The idea, of course, is to actually help the people inside its walls become better, so that when they're released, they don't commit those crimes anymore. Although we wouldn't be surprised if there were at least some repeat offenders who only break the law so they can revisit such a luxurious place. And that's it for today's video. Of course, we hope you'd never do what it takes to get yourself locked up. But if you did have to spend the night in one of those luxurious jail cells, which one would you pick? Let us know in the comments below. Oh, and if this video blew your mind, you're definitely going to want to see 5 huge American mansions you won't believe exist.